Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here to learn a little bit about our Juice Plus cacao. My name is Sarah Klesko. I'm a certified holistic nutritional consultant and an IBS coach. And for over 12 years, I've helped women who feel stuck and exhausted and overwhelmed by their symptoms to finally understand what their bodies are trying to tell them and to empower them through nutrition and simple daily choices. And one thing I hear over and over, whether someone is dealing with digestive issues or low energy, stress, or constant cravings, is that our bodies are giving us signals, oftentimes signals that we are depleted. So today I want to talk about one powerful and delicious way that we can replenish. So it starts with a food most of us already love, chocolate, but it's not just any chocolate. We're talking raw, mineral-rich cacao that can actually help you feel better. So let's get into it and I'll show you what I mean. So a lot of us are running on empty. We wake up tired, we reach for the coffee, we hope that snack is going to tide us over, or we rely on over-the-counter meds to band-aid our symptoms. But what if I told you that those symptoms and feeling crummy is actually really important information that we need to pay attention to, and that when we do, it could be the very thing that helps you to regain balance? Or maybe you are doing it all. You're drinking the green smoothies, you're moving your body, you're eating clean, or at least putting a lot of effort to try to, and yet you're still feeling foggy or tired or anxious. It's really frustrating, right? So it's like something in the puzzle is missing. But let me tell you, the body whispers before it screams, so it's key to listen to that too. Often, despite our best efforts, we are fighting a losing battle in our modern lives. So, our bodies are constantly being depleted, no matter what we're putting in, by stress, by poor sleep, by processed foods. Even the soil our veggies are grown in is depleted. And often, what we reach for when we are feeling crummy is making the problem worse. So, we need a better solution. A lot of people are walking around with low-grade symptoms that we've just come to accept as normal. Maybe you don't even notice it anymore. So we kind of hear this story that, after 30 or after you get your full-time career or after you become a parent, you just feel bad and that's normal, right? Absolutely not. So what's common isn't necessarily normal. Fatigue, sugar cravings, poor sleep, hormonal shifts, these can all be signs of micronutrient deficiencies, especially minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron. And once we start replenishing what's missing, those symptoms can begin to shift. So traditionally, people are reaching for supplement pills in order to defeat those deficiencies. But my belief and what the research really shows is the best place to get your vitamins and nutrients is from food, period. So it is very different when our bodies are taking in a vitamin pill versus eating a whole food. In the pill, there's a lot of one substance or maybe a collection if it's a multi, but it's in doses that your body wouldn't be able to absorb anyways. A lot of it is just filtered out through your filtration organs and not taken in at all. A lot of it never gets absorbed, as we hear. And then once it's absorbed, the body doesn't always know quite what to do with it because along with the whole food isn't just the nutrients, but it is the information that allows our bodies to break down and absorb and utilize those nutrients. So Mother Nature knows best. And if we can get as much of our nutrients from our food, we are going to absorb a lot more and see more for those efforts. So we talk a lot about making sure that we're eating the rainbow, we're having lots of fruits and veggies, getting that variety, and that is so, so key. And most people would benefit from just doing that. But along with that, adding a superfood that targets a lot of the deficiencies that are happening and the symptoms that we're having, combining that together is so powerful and compounds the benefits that you're going to have. So this is where Juice Plus Cacao comes in. So these raw cacao rocks, you can see that little picture here on the screen. It's an enlarged version of what those rocks look like, but they are packed with natural minerals like magnesium, iron, and zinc. So the exact nutrients that your body is likely craving. And you can enjoy them in a variety of different ways, like warm drinks or baked goods or straight from the spoon. It's chocolate with benefits. Raw cacao has 40 times the antioxidants than things like blueberries have or other types of superfoods like acai or cranberry. So it is nutritionally packed with good stuff. And what else is there is minerals that you can absorb. So unlike getting these from, a supplement pill, your body's going to absorb this. So zinc, when you take that in a tablet, often can make your stomach a little upset. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that, or same with iron. A lot of people have issues with iron, maybe constipating a little bit. But when we're getting it from the food, that doesn't happen. So zinc is going to support our immune system. Magnesium is going to be a nice relaxation mineral, whether we are recovering from a workout or trying to wind down for the evening. Iron, a lot of people are low. Even if you're in normal range, are you in optimal range? That's a very big difference. So there's sick, not sick, but then optimal, there's optimal health beyond that, right? So it's our energy enhancer. And then things we don't really think about, like manganese and phosphorus, those are important bone builders. And it's not just calcium, right? We need all of those different minerals working in synergy to help get the calcium in the bone and things like that. And selenium as well, which is a very powerful thyroid supporter. So those are natural minerals existing in cacao. We also know on top of that, because there are tens of thousands of different phytonutrients in whole foods that help the body. And some of those in cacao are things like flavanols. So those can be very powerful for our cognitive function and function as strong antioxidants in the body, reducing inflammation. Theobromine one of the main ones when it comes to cacao. So that's going to aid in mood enhancement and cognitive function. Polyphenols, and this cacao will increase nitric oxide production in the body, which is really amazing because not only does that increase your blood flow, it also helps to bring the oxygen and nutrients to travel to every part of your body. It's a really important thing to have that flow. And cacao has fiber, which is fantastic because we know that's going to help support the gut and lead to more stable blood sugar and support healthy weight. So the proven benefits, what do we know for sure that taking cacao consistently is going to do for your health? We know that it can help sustain energy. That theobromine, because cacao is the cacao seed from the theobroma tree, it is a natural stimulant and it's going to boost energy without having any weird crashes. Heart health and longevity. So those antioxidants and polyphenols are going to support your cardiovascular function, cellular repair. So as our bodies, we're out there, we're working out, we're breathing, we're living, our cells are constantly repairing themselves, and they're repairing themselves with the foods that we're taking in. So having the proper nutrients is crucial to continue to have longevity and vitality as we live. Mood and stress support. So this can be really helpful to enhance mood, support mental health, even reduce cortisol levels, which we know is our stress hormone that a lot of us have too much of in our body because we're in chronic stress all the time. So gut and digestion, really huge. So those prebiotic fibers in the cacao support a healthy gut and healthy microbiome. And then with muscle recovery and sleep, as mentioned with magnesium, skin hydration and vitality. This one's cool because if something is getting to the skin level, that means that it's getting everywhere else first, because skin is the last place for nutrients to show up. So isn't that amazing that if it's getting to my skin and increasing hydration in my skin, think of all the other amazing things it's doing internally that you can't see. But what's the difference between conventional cocoa products or juice plus cacao? Because we all eat chocolate, right? So what's the difference? So in what it is, conventional cocoa is a byproduct of the cacao bean after extensive processing. And that processing typically would be that the beans are typically roasted at a higher temperature and treated with an alkaline solution to mellow the flavor and darken the color. Whereas your raw cacao, that's simply the raw cacao seeds of the Theobroma tree. And the processing looks like they're harvested, they're fermented, and they're sun dried to preserve the nutrients and antioxidants. The taste of conventional cocoa is going to be a little milder and less bitter, but that reflects the poor nutritional value as well. So you can lose up to 60 to 95% of the antioxidants in cacao with that processing that happens. Whereas the raw cacao, this is known as a superfood. And while it is richer and a little bit more intense of a flavor, it's packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are going to do the good things that I just mentioned. So there's a big difference. So can I just buy that from the store? That's a really good question. And what I found in that, because yes, you can buy dark chocolate, you can buy cacao nibs or different powders or things like that. And in the same way that you could buy a run-of-the-mill multivitamin from the store that has limited benefits and absorption and sometimes even risks and different problems, is the same kind of thing with this. So you get what you pay for. And what I've learned in researching this a little bit more is that there are a lot of issues with conventional cacao out there on the shelf. So with the typical chocolate products and cacaos just at the grocery store, these are all things that are issues. So number one is the environmental exploitation that often happens from these cacao plantations. So there's a deforestation that often happens, and we're cutting corners using unsustainable farming techniques that can lead to soil degradation. On top of that, there's a lot of economical exploitation issues. So cocoa farmers struggling to earn a living wage are relying on this, but it's increasing that cycle of poverty because they're being exploited in those labor practices. And the one that's closest to my heart is the issue with child labor and often forced labor on these plantations. So to give you a bit of a snapshot, 60% of the world's cocoa is produced in the Ivory Coast, and 1.56 million children are engaged in child labor on cacao farms in those regions alone. That's not even the entire world. So half of those child laborers are between the age of 5 and 11, and the vast majority, 95% of those cocoa farming children are involved in hazardous child labor. So they're exposed to hazardous pesticides, they're using unsafe tools that can often lead to injury, sickness, death, and or long-term complications. So this is a problem in all of agriculture, but cocoa is a really, really big contributor to all of that. So with Juice Plus, we know that the partnerships with our farmers of all of our products, but absolutely with the cacao as well, are so mindful of these types of things. We're talking fair trade, we're talking the Rainforest Alliance, and making sure that all of the practices are ethical in order to produce this not only ethical, but high quality cacao. So in short, Cacao, Juice Plus Cacao is a nutrient-dense superfood. It's high quality, ethically produced. It's been rigorously tested for safety and purity and is suitable for all ages. So, how do you use cacao? What are the different ways? Everyone's a little different. Use it in a way that works best for you, and you can experiment with this. So, if you need a bit of more of a pick me up or have your morning ritual, you can have it as a warm cacao to start your day, or you need more of an afternoon boost, or you want to maybe replace that second cup of coffee in the afternoon or your third cup of coffee, then you can just replace this with the cacao. And the best way to break a habit is actually to replace the habit with something healthier. So I think this is so brilliant that we can do that with something so nutrient dense and nourishing. You can make it hot or you can make it cold like an iced cacao. I'll show you a picture of how I do that. Some people use this as their evening winds down or add it to smoothies and shakes. And that's a great way to get it into children as well, or in baking and snacks. So the same way that you would use chocolate, it will melt, it will integrate great into your recipes. So here's just a few fun ways that people have been using our cacao. You can make your own chocolates with little chocolate molds. You get to add what kind of sweetener and how much, which is wonderful. And there's our warm cacao that can be so nice and nourishing, or the iced cacao that I like to use instead of an iced coffee. It kind of just gives that feeling of having a bit of a treat, but it's good for you. So there's so many different ways to use it. When it comes to your health, it doesn't have to be complicated. And Juice Plus Cacao is such a simple, delicious way to support your body with what it's really asking for. So those minerals, that nourishment, and that ritual that can bring us a little bit of relaxation and peace. So whether you're dealing with fatigue or mood swings or cravings, or you just want to upgrade your snacks and routines, this is one small habit that can make a big impact. So I hope that that helps give a little bit of insight about why so many people are integrating cacao into their daily routine. Chocolate can really be healing, and it truly is. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.